Hi, this is food, all you never wanted to know. Today we're going to be learning a little bit about growing garlic. Now, I picked this garlic up at the food store. It's organic, it's nice, some of it has already begun to germinate, which is all right for what I'm going to use it for. I will not be planting this garlic in the garden because, first of all, it's too little. Secondly, it's already growing. Thirdly, I think I want to save this to do something called garlic scallions. I may do some on the windowsill, maybe some in the hoop house, and I'll pick it when these sprouts grow, maybe so tall, they'll look a little bit like scallions that you do from onion sets. And they're delicious in some kind. I could stir fry them into eggs. They'll be really, really good. But to do really good garlic for the spring, you need to start early. You need to start before the ground freezes, about a month before the first hard freeze of the fall. This means you don't plant them in the spring. You can do that, but your cloves of garlic are not going to get big. They're going to stay little, because what happens during the winter is the garlic roots will grow. They'll grow from the bottoms, and if I can find maybe a bigger one to explain this, when you plant them, you always plant the pointy part up. That's what's going to grow into the stalk. The bottom, this is where the old roots were, and this is going to be where the roots will form, and you want that to be forming through the late fall and early spring before they pop out of the ground. So that's what you want to happen. In order to do that, you plant them early. Where we live, it's zone 6B, I believe. You need to plant them sometime in maybe early October. Anyhow, they should be picked and gone sometime in June or July. So the spot where you plant them will be great for growing other things for the fall. Now, when you plant them, you'll plant them 4 inches deep. You'll plant them 6 to 8 inches apart, depending on the variety. And you want to have the ground nice, and you need to put something in the ground, a little bit of organic fertilizer, not a lot of nitrogen. You want maybe a little compost will be good for those. You want those strong roots to grow, and you don't want to encourage the tops to pop up. But as soon as you plant them, you should put about a 6-inch layer of straw or shredded leaves, or maybe cut grass even, something that will insulate them from the hard cold of the winter. So they'll be growing underground all winter long, and then in the early spring, you need to remove that mulch. We made the mistake this past year, I did, of forgetting to remove the mulch early enough, and when I finally picked it up, those leaves were all like kittywampus, and they never really did recover well. So that's not the thing that you want to do. They may shoot up with something called scrapes, which is the flower stalk, kind of late spring, early summer. And when that happens, you need to cut that scrape off, and you can use that in cooking. So that's a really good thing to have. That'll be kind of an extra for your kitchen, and that's neat. And then you need to harvest before the cloves loosen in the summer. Once they start to loosen, they aren't going to be really good garlic. So I'm going to plant these in a little bit, and then tomorrow I'm going to be picking up some German white garlic seed. It's not seeds, it's the cloves, from a lady who lives not too far from here. And that's a nice, good, strong garlic that she grows every year. And I'm really, really excited to try that. So I'll see you in the garden. These are the store-bought cloves of garlic that I bought. These are the German whites. I got a pound of them from a lady who's local. And this is probably the biggest one that I could find out of the store-bought ones. And look at the difference. That's huge. These are all ready to plant. All is not a waste, however. The store-bought ones, I planted a few in a pot on the windowsill, and these are young plants which I can chop and cut into stir fries or eggs or whatever I'd like, so they're not a total waste. Okay, we're out in the garden. This is one of the rows that had tomatoes in it, and I've planted all except this last little bit, and I'm going to show how I do this. If I get down, they should be at least 6 inches apart. I'm making them 8 inches apart, and 4 inches deep is about as deep as that point on the spade. So I shove it down, and I remember the root part goes down, the tip goes up, the growing part goes up. Okay, and you push it all the way down. This is another 8 inches. I've pre-measured this, and we could have had just a couple more cloves, but that's fine. Now, you push. Okay, so we layer 4 to 6 inches of straw. This is making a nice bed for the winter to insulate it from the cold, and we'll see what happens in the spring. This is food all you never wanted to know. Take care.